Center for E-Learning professional development session for this semester, and thinking about who we are as educators. Oh, there, this one. All right. As always, we have objectives, and I'm not even going to read through them, but I have on each slide, as it comes through, which objective we are accomplishing with each one. So I'm going to think about the whole, what our teaching role is. And this will be an interactive session. Yes. Okay. So here's my first question for you. I'm going to invite you all, if you're online, to either to jot down some answers, and they will tell me what to put up. Visit with each other, and so think about, who are you when you are teaching? How does that feel? What do you wind up? How do you feel about it? What's your perspective on it?
Guide.
Absolutely. Yes, it definitely needs calibration.
I'm just trying to think. That's a very good question.
Yeah, and that's why we want to start with, it's the reflective piece.
An organizer? I mean, that's
Yeah.
not the most, but that's one
Yeah.
thing that comes to mind.
Online, people are saying facilitator, mentor, learner.
Yep. Absolutely.
Definitely. And listener.
Subject matter expert.
True. Inspire.
This is the acronym that we use for subject matter expert.
SME.
Yeah. What did you say?
Inspire.
Inspire, inspired, inspiring, which?
Inspires.
Inspire, okay.
I like this one. Experimenter.
Yeah. Which is wonderful when it works, and a learning experience when it doesn't. Anything else? Great ideas. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. And all of these apply no matter what our teaching environment, teaching situation is. Anything else?
No, that's it. Why is it not? There you go.
Okay. So we're going to start with the first part. I want you to think about how your learners might describe you, and the first one would be how we think our students see us. Well, and it's hard to try to shift.
Nancy Jones said, knowledgeable.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Someone said older, hopefully more experienced person. We could go with wise. I think wise there.
All right.
Supportive.
I think sometimes a student might think as like an authority, maybe.
Oh, like
Is there a
what?
better word for that? Like authority? Is there a better word for that?
Well, again, the SME, one would hope. But yeah, in a role of, I'm not sure authority, but yeah, I know.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but
Yeah, no, but I get it.
I was thinking of the word for social work, like a role model. So we're
role model.
Role
Yeah,
model,
I like that one
excellent.
better.
do
Yep.
what we say they're supposed to do.
Someone saying yes, authority is good.
Yeah, sure. We gotta have that somewhere along the way.
They do see us as grade givers. I mean, however you want to say that. I mean, that's the big one.
Yep.
I don't know how you say that, but evaluators, I guess,
Mhm.
who hold the power.
Yep. We think our students see us, so what about how we want them to see us? Is it the same? Is it different? Are there other things that would fit?
A lot of them are saying the same. But that could be like instead of like prompt or punctual. I like my professors.
They'd be there on time when class starts?
Absolutely. I'm looking up to someone.
What is it? We had someone say, you know, I'll wait for 15 minutes. If the professor's not there by then, we're out of here.
It's a long time.
Understandably, yeah.
Someone saying they may perceive us as out of touch or old-fashioned.
Yeah. That's not how we want them to,
No.
but how we, yeah.
I'm trying to think. This is a hard thing sometimes too, but online I want them, I want to be, and I want them to see me, I guess, as a person who is creating, you know, creative and kind of not all enjoyable. I mean, they're challenging, but also,
Yep.
What can you say? Fun, interesting assignments, not boring.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
inspiring.
Yeah.
And especially because when we're dealing online, we want to come across to them. We don't want them to think, I'm talking to that computer again.
Right.
So we have to put some fun and
Engaging.
engaging, absolutely.
Engaging assignments
Firm,
too.
fair, and consistent.
Woo.
That's what they're saying.
Firm,
Fair
there.
and consistent. Oh, I like this one. Cognitively inspiring.
Okay, I put inspiring. What was the other? Cognitive?
Cognitively inspiring.
Wow, absolutely. All right, I need to calibrate this thing.
Yeah, it's being difficult to write with.
That's where patience comes in.
Especially this week where the students have been so frustrated with, well, where is that? I need to find it. What happened to, you know, and Blackboard has been swamped all week. So it isn't always us, though they see it that way.
Someone online saying, while I agree that we should inspire them, we shouldn't be another TV show.
Yeah, inspiring, not necessarily entertaining.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And so it's interesting to think of that. And one of the articles that I read in planning for this is to ask them. Put yourself out there. Ask them. And ask them what they are expecting and what I can do to facilitate what they are expecting. And I did that. I did that this morning. All right. So how we think they see us and how we want them to see us, not necessarily the same. All right. Thank you. Any other comments? So, given what we have said, what are our tasks as an educator? Can I change the colors here?
On the bottom.
tasks as an educator.
Yeah, what is it we need to be doing? What are we doing?
Inspiring. I know we use that already.
I want to say promote critical thinking, right?
Okay.
Online they're saying, I'll let you finish that. I'm talking too fast.
Okay, what are they?
Give students tools to grow cognitively in their career choices.
Okay.
Share a thirst for knowledge.
A little hard to
Yeah.
negative when the calibration is off, but that's a
Foster quality substantive knowledge.
wow,
Exchange.
excellent.
Sorry, not knowledge.
Substantive. And what was the last word? Knowledge?
Exchange.
Exchange.
Should I be writing, Judy?
No.
I'm gonna, this is something I'm struggling with, to provide enough structure in my assignments to allow them to, display their own knowledge. Not so, I don't know how exactly to say this, but not so detailed that a lot, again, you're thinking you're giving them the cut flowers, but enough that they can proceed. So it's a kind
And
of
still have a certain amount of freedom. And
to
of course,
show what they know,
Yeah.
and not just answer, to.
yeah. And typically, and I know because I did it myself all the way through. Just tell me what you want. I'll do that. Tell me what it is you want. And that's not, from the other viewpoint, that's not what we want. We want substance. But with flexibility, does that work?
Yeah.
Online they're saying convey high expectations.
Y'all are excellent. You've got some really great ones. Great ones in here. Of course, my writing is such that we're not going to be able to read it.
That's great. I could never do that.
Anything else? Yeah. Excellent. So, this is just some things that from one of the articles that I read. The process of teaching and learning is a constantly evolving process, both for us as instructors as well as, of course, for our students. But it evolves over time. How we see ourselves as a teacher and how we think about what it is we do. Always, always, always involving change. And as human beings, we typically go into change kicking and screaming. Yeah, no, not me. That's okay for them, not me. And yet, that's how we grow. That is how we grow. And in order to accomplish that, we have to think about the whys of what we're doing. We have to think, am I doing this because Mr. Green, that I thought was just the most absolutely wonderful algebra teacher, that's how he taught? Well, I'm different than Mr. Green was. And so why am I using the same structure? Would there be something else that might be a better way of bringing myself across? So in order to do that evolving as an effective teacher, we have to think about the whys and look at our current practice, consistently look at our current practice. And that whole reflective process as an instructor wasn't emphasized that much when I went through. And it is now. It really is being reinforced with the students, the educators coming through now. But it's such a valuable piece, is to reflect and think about what we're doing. Stop and say, okay, well, that one didn't work. What do I need to do? How can I fix that? It's a process of putting ourselves under that magnifying glass or under the microscope to see what it is that we need to do, how we need to improve and grow. So we're going to think about what makes us effective as an educator. I'm assuming that everyone has had some experiences face-to-face. So what is it that that makes us effective in the face-to-face classroom? And then we'll think about how that compares to online.
Collaboration.
Face-to-face?
Well, they're important for both, I think.
Yeah.
I'm thinking literally in the face-to-face, I have to think on my feet because they're all there. So it's facilitating the group responses,
Right, yeah.
Facilitating
And
that.
staying in the present moment and yet projecting so that you can take them where you need them to go.
Mhm.
So how do we want to put that? What's a way of phrasing that? Well, thinking on our feet.
And by that you mean, for instance, in a face-to-face class, you can get a better feel for, well, the discussion is really going the way it should be going, or we're on a little tangent, you have more control over it, whereas if it was online, it might be a few hours or later on that afternoon for you to jump in and add to the
That's probably
discussion.
true. I haven't actually, but in the face-to-face, the challenge is to be able to correct things in a facilitative way, not to, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Online, I found so far, if I have a chance to think about what I really want to say, it'll come out right.
Yeah, okay.
Which is one of the advantages of
Sometimes
online.
it's confusing. I could be confusing if I'm not present, really mindful of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I have to stop and think what it is I'm saying. I usually write it on a document myself and then reread it and then post it. I don't just think on my feet for an online quite as well.
Online, they're saying a passion for our discipline. And I think that's for both as well.
Yes.
All of this is for both, kind of.
Yes. Okay, whatever. Oh well.
It depends on how the online is conducted. Face-to-face is more immediate and naturally interactive. I'm not sure you're going to write all that.
No. So let's think about and we're actually going to go compare. I think on my next one is where we actually do a comparison. So what makes us effective as an online instructor?
Consistent supporter. Communication is key.
Oh, sorry about that. Support and consistent, I heard. What else?
Communication.
Of,
Communication, just
oh,
communicate.
communication. Okay, sorry.
Like creating situations, and again, this is a long way of saying it, for students to communicate, maybe challenge one another as well, like they would in the classroom, you know?
Yes, yes. Set up the interactivity in such a way that they.
Yeah.
Interactive situations in such a way that that it brings them out.
Cognitively busy and engaging online classroom.
Cognitively
Busy
busy.
and engaging. And I think, for me personally, I was a student not too long ago. For online especially, is to think about the audience. Usually those who take online courses are non-traditional students.
Right.
The mom and dad who might work full time and take the course online at night after the kids are asleep, or the person trying to balance two jobs and watching your course modules on the tri-rail on their way home. So I think delivery is huge.
Yep.
Mobile devices, making sure it's clean, concise, that sort of thing, convenient.
Yeah, and even in face-to-face, I have discovered that it depends on what time of day
Yes.
I'm teaching it as to what the audience is. Because I had a group this morning that was almost, well over 50%, probably considerably more than that, in the 18 to 22 bracket. But that was 9 o'clock on Friday morning. The ones who are older come in the afternoon classes.
How about for both accessible?
Yeah. Great.
Like the teacher, you mean? And the
And the
course.
Right.
deliverables.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's what I was thinking. The teacher accessible, but the materials and the availability and everything else that they're going to need to be successful. Yeah.
Feedback. That's what someone said here. Feedback.
Yeah, in both.
Facebook.
That's what I got from it too. Into the blue.
FB.
Okay, that was feedback. That's just what I always do, but then I don't think. All right. So our effectiveness as an educator, there's a great deal of similarities. And I think we'll see that as we keep moving forward. But it takes a conscious awareness of what you're doing and how you want it to come across, and whether you're doing it online or face-to-face. So we kind of have talked about this. So how are they alike and how are they different? Just some quick comments. You still have to be engaging.
Yeah. See, I want to say online, you have to think of maybe creative ways and different ways to let your personality shine through.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would word that. A transfer of communication,
Communication transfer?
just the way they're communicating.
Oh, yeah, and that would be
Different.
difference.
Online, I can't depend on delivering instructions verbally. But of course, I'm finding you can't do that. And they're expecting, you know what I mean? So it's making me a better teacher in the classroom because I'm very exact.
Conscious
It's
of,
great, you know?
yes,
So I think that ahead of time.
right.
Yeah.
And I can ramble with the best of them, and you really have to get yourself nailed down. And so that's a piece of the communication, but it's also, again, awareness. Of how you present things. Is
And
that
how
what
my
it is?
instructions are coming across. I don't, that doesn't help you. Precise is a word, I guess. Precise instructions.
Decisions, yep. But that's also over here too.
They're alike because they're both structured.
Yep. And there are goals or objectives in what needs to come across. That's the bottom line, is what we want them to come away with, no matter how we present it, how we deliver it.
He's saying the timely nature and the group input.
On alike,
I think so.
okay, timely.
Oh, she's saying different.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, timely would definitely be different because students go on at different times.
Yep, definitely. Whatever. I think the planning is different too. Okay, so we're starting to see how the ways we interact can come across both online and face-to-face. And so what I want you to think about is the learning paradigm and the emphasis for that. Hello. The emphasis on the learning, and this is a shift that we're starting to see in the field of education, is that we want to focus on the student learning rather than content delivery, rather than teaching. The focus is shifting to how students are learning. And this goes back to some of everybody's early education classes. We want it to be there so that the students can then discover what they need to learn and construct, make it fit into their own structures. And again, we definitely want our students taking an active role, whether we're working with them face-to-face or online. And the learning paradigm is one that causes that allows for that active role for them to be an active participant in their learning. It is subtle, but it is definitely a shift in perception. When we start thinking in terms of student outcomes, what I want my students to be able to come away from this with, rather than what I'm going to deliver to them. And there is a difference. Now, the challenge in that, lots of challenges, many challenges in that. One of the qualities of being a teacher is I'm in control. This is my classroom. And it's the learning paradigm is a shift of the responsibility, because now it's on them to take what they are, the guide, and we mentioned that at the beginning, to take what's there and shift it, turn it over. Again, we're guides rather than deliverers of content. And I'm sure that you know people and work with people that have a hard time making that shift to going away from being deliverer of information. The information is out there for students, again, literally at their fingertips all the time. So what we want to do is offer them enough to know so that they can go and find what they need out of either through our course or online.
Online, they're saying, I think it's important to guide the learners to be self-directed.
Yes, self-directed. And so that our ultimate goal here is so that as learners, they can figure out how to apply that knowledge. One of the terms that we've used in the field is transfer of knowledge. If I've learned how to do something this way, can I take that information and shift it over and make it work that way or not? And so self-directed learners with the focus on what they have to do in order to learn rather than what I have to open their wonderful little brains and pour it into. But the learning being the application of knowledge. That's how we know that they've gotten it. So let's go back to our task as educators and think about it with specifics for online educators. So thinking of ourselves as online educators, how does that change our task, or does it? I have to be a much better planner.
To get acquainted with the technology, I think.
Yeah.
Nothing's worse than being stuck in a pickle and not knowing what
Yeah.
to do.
They're savvy.
It's one of
That's
those
what I
words.
was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
Resourceful?
Yeah. Oh, great, Judy.
I think that the online tasks differ in that we rely more with our written language.
Okay, say that again, please.
I think that our online tasks differ in that we rely more with our written language.
Rely more on our
So it's a
Like typing, I
language
think, yeah.
oriented?
Yeah, more writing through the computer versus just speaking.
Okay.
We rely more on our written language.
Yeah.
And maybe on short videos to demonstrate. You know, in
Yeah.
class, I might say, does anybody have an example of this? You know, we can talk about an example, people can picture it. But online, well, you could do that in discussion, but you couldn't do it the whole way through. So
No.
like little YouTube things, but
Yeah.
then you have to worry about whether those have closed captions, right? Or, you know, and all that.
Yep. Okay.
And on the topic of video, I can think of two things. Number one being a some sort of tour of your course online, just so the students can watch that quick little 1-minute video and know, all right, well, here's my syllabus, here is the modules, here's that. And also, I would think about it as an about me video, you know, adding a little, you know what the person is. You're personifying the name instead of just having the name of the instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it more
And
human.
Additionally, a quick way for doing feedback.
Getting feedback or giving feedback? I mean,
Giving.
both.
Giving, yeah, it could be either way though, but yeah, because you can do, I'm probably more likely to do audio, you know, just a quick, here's a little, you know, I was looking at your paper and I see this, this, and this, but could also be done with the video. And I'm putting this as our task as an educator in online to keeping the end in sight, which is not to say we don't do it in a face-to-face, but I don't think about it as much in the face-to-face. In face-to-face, I tend to go from week to week.
Yeah.
And in an online class, I've got more of an overview of here's where we are and there's where we need to be. What do we have to do to get there? So maybe that tells me I should think about it more than
That's what I've been
face-to-face.
thinking. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so again, and I've heard this many times from many of the people that we deal with, online makes us a better teacher. Face-to-face, online, whatever. The online experience makes us a better teacher. Any other comments?
You going, QM standards are great for providing support for the online instructors' tasks. Who do you think that came from?
I bet it was Dr. Conley.
Yes.
And thank you, Enid, for including that, because that is important, and that's how we set up our courses. It's based on the quality standards. Anything else? All right, let's see what's next. Okay, here's the references. I mentioned having read some articles in order to plan and prepare for it. And so this is my thank you to you, to all of you, for being here, for being willing to be open and reflecting on your own practice, because that is how we improve. Put your teaching strategies out there, but most importantly for caring. So thank you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.